This is Dan Dicks here reporting for Press for Truth, coming at you here today with a very important update about the situation with this ostrich farm in Edgewood, British Columbia, where the federal government is going to come in and kill these perfectly healthy birds. I reported on the devastating news yesterday after a federal judge ruled that the cull of the nearly 400 ostriches can proceed. Well, we have an update now. BC District now wants avian flu testing on the ostriches facing this cull. The Regional District of Central Kootenay says that it will ask the Canadian Food Inspection Agency to conduct further testing for avian flu on a flock of ostriches facing a cull before the region's landfill will accept the carcasses. So we're talking about literally thousands and thousands of pounds, tons of pounds of dead carcass meat that the landfills are refusing to accept unless they can prove and provide an actual test that would suggest that these birds are sick. And guess what, guys? They can't do that. They will not be able to do that because these birds are healthy. But unfortunately, a judge has already ruled that the court can't consider any evidence that wasn't available to it when the decision to kill these birds was made. He said the court would be faulting the decision makers for lacking a crystal ball. This court cannot consider new evidence, such as the current health status of the ostriches, recent test results, or updated scientific developments. The ruling says, in references to claims that the ostriches are now free of disease. They are literally healthy. And that's what brings us to our next very important point, guys. This man and this man's research is now what we have to talk about, because he was looking into how the biggest birds on Earth could help fend off epidemics. Veterinarian Yoshiro Takamoto has a flock of 500 ostriches, and in their huge eggs, he has a way to fight off infectious diseases. And guess what, guys? The Universal Ostrich Farm in Edgewood, British Columbia is also looking to build a healthier future for the world, and they are working directly with this man to help develop these new antibodies to fight off future potential epidemics. So is this, big pharma in fear of these guys stopping their global inoculation program? We're certainly going to talk about that today, guys. Here is an update from Katie, the owner of the ostrich farm. Remember, ostrich cull has not been delayed. We had people in positions to create a precedent that other landfills can do the same. The call order is active. But because of all you showing up and our legal fight, we're desperately trying to stop this mass slaughter and create world chafe in this stamping out policy. Stamping out natural immunity. Keep our heroes heroes. And you may have noticed here that I chimed in saying, I'll be heading to Edgewood. See you guys soon. And that is my plan, guys. I posted this on X. Something very strange is happening at the ostrich farm in Edgewood, BC, and I hope to find out what that is. So I'll be heading there as soon as possible. Stay tuned for my video reports. So guys, I will be heading there to get to the bottom of this. If that's something you would like to support, please consider checking me out at pressfortruth.ca/donate. You can do PayPal, Bitcoin, e-transfers. You can send stuff to my P.O. box. I've already booked my trip. It's going to be about a 3-day trip. So if you want to contribute to my my travel and accommodations to go cover this incredibly important story, please check me out at pressfortruth.ca/donate if you'd like to contribute to my efforts to do that. All right, guys, check this out. Takamoto keeps a flock of 500 captive bred ostriches at 4 sprawling ranches in central Japan. He was originally tasked to study them for a project in which the birds were fed surplus soybeans, which they would then poop into fertilizer for local farms. But all that changed in the early 1990s when he noticed his charges were surprisingly disease-free compared to other captive species. This high level of immunity, he and his colleagues soon gathered, could be traced back to the hefty 5-pound eggs that the birds made. In the last stages of pregnancy, mothers throughout the animal kingdom boost their young's defenses by passing on antibodies, blood-based proteins that neutralize bacteria and viruses. Mammals do that through their placentas and breast milk, and birds do it through the yolk in their eggs. Sakamoto had an idea. What if he could customize the antibodies in an unfertilized ostrich egg and extract them to make various medicines for humans? That question led to his research over the next decade, guys. So they're onto something massive that seems to be frightening Big Pharma away from their global inoculation program. And as I said, now Esperson, the owner of the ostrich farm in British Columbia, has been in this business since 1991. 3 years ago, they stopped selling meat and they pivoted to conduct scientific research on the animals, and they founded a bioscience company to commercialize ostrich antibodies. Since then, the ostriches have been the subject of a research project in collaboration with Dr. Yashiro Takamoto, president of this university in Japan. He's also known as Dr. Ostrich. He's been extracting COVID-19 antibodies from ostrich eggs in BC, building on his decades of research on the antibodies in ostrich egg yolk that can block infectious diseases, guys. Takamoto said his research can be applied to the avian flu. Again, is this exactly what has Big Pharma terrified right now? Is this why the judge is going through with this CULL order, despite the fact that, they're not even going to look at new evidence that these birds are perfectly healthy? Like, this is why right now there's a whole bunch of people, numerous emails, they're inundating them with phone calls because of this planned call. And officials are now doing whatever they can within their limited powers to support the farm owners. Dozens of people have gathered at the farm, whose owner, Karen Esperson, has called for supporters to surround the property to block the call by the agency, which has said that it's not going to publicize the dates of this operation. No, absolutely not. They're just going to, probably do this when people least expect it, but that's why people are going there right now. And that's why we're starting to see stupid articles like this. How a BC ostrich farm sparked a far-right crusade. Convoy supporters and Robert F. Kennedy Jr. have rallied around the farm. Oh no, which is facing the call of its 400-strong flock. A BC ostrich farm fighting in order to kill its 400 birds has become a flashpoint for the far right and people skeptical of both mainstream science and regulatory powers of governments. The call at Universal Ostrich in Edgewood, about 100 kilometers southeast of Vernon, was ordered to prevent the spread of avian flu after birds were infected. Yeah, guess what, guys? That's not a thing anymore. They are completely healthy, herd immunity, perfectly healthy birds. You're literally killing a research team that's looking into antibodies into future epidemics. Volunteer researcher has a group called Unmask the Right, says he's concerned about the involvement of high-profile convoy protesters and people who have threatened violence. Even U.S. Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy has attacked the call. Well, rightly so, because the whole thing is absolute insanity and must be stopped. Now, here's the crazy part of this all. The Canadian Food Inspection Agency has defended its decision to proceed with this call. They're said on Wednesday they're allowing for the domestic flock to die because it's known to have been exposed to highly pathogenic avian influenza. To allow them to remain alive allows a potential source of the virus to persist. So knowing that they don't even currently have it, but just because they once did means they potentially could be a source that could persist, they are then going to kill them all. Guys, this is an absolute travesty. We did get an update saying that the call order is currently active, but we have kind of delayed this because of the landfills who are refusing to, accept the thousands and thousands of pounds of dead carcass meat unless they can prove that the avian, that they are in fact infected with the avian flu. Again, they're not going to be able to do that because these birds aren't infected with the flu. But a judge has already said we can't even consider that. So essentially, the call is going to go forward, and it looks like they're just going to buy, a certain amount of time now until they pull the trigger. Well, guys, it certainly looks to me like they're terrified of the research that this farm is doing in conjunction with this man here, because they just so happen to have discovered that they can fend off epidemics and literally create medicines to help, human beings with diseases. Again, this is the threat to Big Pharma, and this quite literally could be the very real reason why we're about to see these 400 ostriches killed in British Columbia. So I want to remind you guys, I'm going to be heading there as soon as possible. I've already booked my my trip. It's going to be a 3-day trip for me. So again, if you want to support my efforts to go and cover this very, very important story, because I mean, if they can do this to this ostrich farm in Edgewood, British Columbia, what's stopping them from doing it to, other backyard farms, other, animals, horses and cows and pets eventually? I mean, this is a huge precedent-setting case. And there's like 50 to 60 protesters who are gathered at the farm right now in anticipation of the feds arriving and, attempting to kill these birds. So I want to be there to document all of this, guys, and I will be. So again, if you do want to support my efforts to go cover stories like that, don't forget to check me out at pressfortruth.ca/donate. Again, anything you can contribute will be greatly appreciated, because this story is of the utmost importance to cover. So that's what I'm going to do, guys. So just wanted to bring that to your attention. Once again, please be sure to click the thumbs up button, share the video. Don't forget to check me out at pressfortruth.ca/donate. You can check that top link in the description below. And that's all for today, guys. Once again, thank you so much for tuning in. Please share this video with your friends and family who you think need to see it the most. And stay tuned, guys. We're going to have more video reports coming soon, God willing. This is Dan Dicks reporting for Press for Truth. We all want truth. The truth will set you free.